for the special call meeting for the purpose of discussing and/or taking action on employee insurance. We before we really get okay. We're going to have a sound system moved in that has the cordless mic with it, so hopefully that will make it a lot easier on all of us for both this meeting, or at least the tail end of this meeting, and then the regular council meeting as well. Thank you all for being here again for this special call meeting, the purpose of which is to take action on employee insurance. I would like to mention, before we get started, if you look at your agenda, we will have an opportunity for citizen comments after the roll call and before the actual discussion takes place. All right, at this time, Councilmember Manning, if you don't mind, would you please lead us in our invocation and pledge to the flag? Everyone please stand.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Father. We thank you for another beautiful day, Father. Thank you, Lord, for each one's come out this week, Father. Help us to guide this meeting the way you see fit tonight, Father. Touch each one, touch those on the death angel visit, those in the hospital today, Father. And the men and ladies on the battlefield fighting for our country, Lord. Help us, Lord, to be what you have us to be, not what we want, what you want. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Janet, if we have the roll call, please.
Mayor Lambert.
Here.
Vice Mayor Brown. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Manning.
Here.
Councilmember Stoner.
Here.
City Manager Hyatt. City Attorney Noel.
I do want to mention as well, I did get a text message from the city manager just a few minutes ago. He is en route. He may not get here for the 5:30 meeting, but he intends to be here for the 6:30, or thinks he can be here for the 6:30, depending on the traffic, so hopefully we'll see him shortly. At this time, if you are a citizen or business owner in the city of East Ridge and would like to address the council in regard to employee insurance, thoughts or concerns, if you would please step forward at this time. State your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes. I see none. At this time, we will begin our discussion of employee insurance. And also, I'd like to offer the opportunity for each of the 4 groups who have provided information to us. We would like for them to be able to present their information, and what I will do is I will go alphabetically by the name of the company. So, first one up would be Benefits Inc. Yes, sir. Yes,
But
certainly.
I had a couple of retired citizens ask me if their term past 65, and since we have one employee that's already on a supplemental insurance, if it would be feasible if they were willing to pay their own supplemental cost, but they would get it through the city, probably a cheaper rate through by us being a group. That's what I was asking, that's what I'm asking, you know, I'm not for sure, but I know we've got one we buy supplemental for. And that is Miss Evelyn Keith.
Okay.
Are we talking about retirees for the city?
Yes, sir, retirees that are fixing to because right now we're paying their insurance over they turn 65, and they're gonna have to go on Medicare or Medicaid, whatever it is, and then probably buy a supplement, if you're going to buy a supplement through the company that we're already buying the supplement for, through the company that we're buying for.
Dave, what do you think?
My initial reaction is, are we prepared to do that tonight?
No, sir, but I'd like to, for the insurance companies that are here, is to say whether they would be willing to offer this to the retirees and let the retirees go to them directly.
And if they work something out, fine, and if
Right,
they don't, fine.
right, but let it kind of be through the city group.
That would not be through the city's group.
Okay.
It wouldn't, they're separate, but
Okay, so the answer to that would be
it
no.
could be, I mean, we can, I think any of us can assist anybody that's over 65 to do it, but it cannot be run through the city's insurance plan.
It just brought my attention, I thought I'd bring it up.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor Lambert, can I ask?
Yes, sir, please.
How do you want us to go to do this? I mean, obviously, we only had an hour. You know, I think when you look at each of our proposals, they are expensive, and everybody has shown different options and different plans to look at. A lot of us probably are showing the exact same things. So I don't know what process you want us to
Well,
present.
the,
This is a
I
little
guess what
unusual
my-
for us.
Certainly, but I guess what my expectation has been, and I don't know if the rest of council would agree, basically you all could provide, you're right, we have extensive information here, but if you could provide just a 30,000-foot view of what you're proposing, and really what it, yes.
Basically, what I'd like to
Reliable.
hear from is what the company's got to offer the for help.
Right, in terms of assisting our staff, that would certainly be very, very important information to have. Do you intend to provide weekly visits, monthly visits? Are you, what is your availability going to be in terms of answering questions from employees and from our HR staff? That kind of thing, I think would be.
Do you want us to address it that way, or do you want us to, do you want to ask us questions with regards to probably both? And we've all submitted proposals.
Right.
Would it be all right, Mayor Lambert, if we presented what we had to say and then opened it up for questions? Would that be all right?
I think that would be ideal. If you could, again, provide just a summary of what you're offering, and then allow the council an opportunity to ask questions. I'm sure that.
Hello. Testing. Hey, there we go. So if that sounds like something that's feasible, then,
I got another question.
yes, sir.
Do you have a time limit on that?
I was thinking if you could present in 6 to 8 minutes, just again, that overview, that summary, and then allow council opportunity.
All right, we'll keep this one around as a standby.
Okay. Testing. Testing. Testing.
There you go.
All right.
Anything else?
Yes. Don't wander far. All right, thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I guess for the recording, I need to be in the microphone, so I'll try to stay as close as possible. My name is Michael Curcio, and I'm representing the firm of St. Sinai. We are the incumbent broker on your employee benefits as it is now. We submitted a proposal, just in case. I brought just fresh copies in case you guys want to have these to read along. Just helpful for us all to be singing off the same music. Okay. It should not be, but I just, again, okay, if you got that one and you can follow along. Okay. So briefly to address the question about our agency, Benefits Inc. is a full service HR, human resources, and compliance management firm. We've got 600 some odd groups under management, multiple municipalities across the state of Tennessee. I think 18 municipalities in Tennessee alone at this point. Our firm takes a unique approach. We are in the consulting and the HR consulting business. So anytime you call our office, as I know several of you have here recently, just because you're an incumbent broker, anytime you call, somebody will answer your call on the first or second ring. We don't have voicemail in our office, so if you call us, all of our folks are life and health and property and casualty licensed. So to the extent that you have a question, any of your employees can call us anytime through 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Myself and Tim White, who you met previously, are available at all hours, basically via cell phone or email. And that's a commitment that we have to all of our clients. So we're here to help. The other thing that we do is we employ a full-time, full-service enrollment team. So not only at open enrollment do we come in and we'll meet one-on-one with each of your employees, because the issues that we're dealing with are often very personal, and so it's a one-on-one consultation. So we're talking about, families' medical needs, we're talking about life insurance benefits, we're talking about disability, those sorts of things. So what we do is we meet with each employee one-on-one to go through that enrollment process. And then throughout the year, something I know speaking with your HR director that you hadn't had previously is that we're providing that on an ongoing basis. So to the extent that you've got new hires, or to the extent that you've got anyone who's got questions or life events throughout the year, marriage, divorce, birth of a child, things like that, we're here on a one-on-one consultancy type basis to help with those things. We're for claims assisting, we deal with providers, we deal with the insurance company, we deal with the hospitals, the doctors, so you don't have to. So we want to be a turnkey concierge service for you and for your employees. And that's what we strive to do for all of our clients. So just a brief kind of 10,000-foot picture of who we are as a company. I want to explain to you our proposal. I did get a question or two. When your renewal came up, of course, we started this process in April with the city manager, with the finance director, and the HR director. So when your renewal comes out each year, the first thing that we do is we go ahead and we take that out to bid ourselves. So we work with any of the other reputable carriers that are doing business that we think would be applicable to you. We quoted even with ones that we think aren't going to be competitive, but we want to see that as well. So we went through that process back in April, and then through that refinement process, we wound up submitting our proposal for your renewal. Well, then when we went into an open bid situation, that was when we submitted the binder that you see before you. So what you've got is 5 dual option plans with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and you've got 4 dual option plans with United Healthcare. The question I got was why the change from the renewal proposal versus the bid, and quite simple, the answer to that is we took from your request for an open bid that you wanted more information. So what we did was we went back and we pulled all the plans that we quoted and we put them in this binder for you so that we could walk through them if that's something that you want to do. So understand we'd already kind of been through a refinement process, and what we did was we brought the other options back on the table. My recommendation personally would still be the same as the one that we presented. You could tweak the HRA design, that sort of thing, but tell you what, let's just jump in. So again, we presented 5 dual option plans with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. That is your current carrier, as you know. We've also got 4 option plans with United Healthcare. The employee contributions are included in the total rates that I'm going to show on these pages. We actually suggest maintaining or lowering your current employee contribution. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, we think with plan design changes, we'll still be able to save considerable, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on the current rate. And so what we'd like to do is pass some of that savings along to your employees. We'd also like to simplify the plan offering as well. The HRA that I've illustrated in this binder is based on the city of East Ridge paying 100% of all deductible expenses. Currently, you've created an internal deductible of $250. That could also be done. The HRA is only limited basically by your imagination. So we would certainly consult on that, but again, with the premium savings that we think we can bring, or that we've illustrated that we can bring to the table, we think you can reduce the cost of the employees. Why have them reach some expenses that they do not have to? The other thing we've done here is we've got dental, vision, life, and disability recommendations that I'll run through briefly. I want to talk about some financial considerations. The standard commission on a group of your size is 5% with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. We've negotiated that down to 3% for you, so we're willing to take less to service the group, and that's something that we pledge to you as well. The other thing that we could do is if you wanted to work as a co-worker type situation, we would be able to entertain that and do that quite often as well. What we typically do in those type of situations is a 60-40 compensation arrangement, where we retain 60, the co-worker retain 40, and but we ask that we retain all decision-making rights and servicing rights, just because our process is so comprehensive. The other thing that we've done is we're absorbing 100% of the costs. We don't charge our clients, any of our clients, anything to administer their business. No per head fee, you'll never write benefits take a check for any reason. And then we've also gotten all the HRA and COBRA fees waived in these proposals, so that's a considerable savings as well. If you'll flip to that first tab, just want to review, the thing that you're doing now, City of East Ridge currently reimburses 100%, or what we're proposing, 100% of deductible and out-of-pocket expenses. You've got a $250 deductible now, and then East Ridge reimburses the next $27.50. Employees with individual dependents must pay the first $500, and then East Ridge reimburses the next $5,500. You do have co-pays in your plan now, office visit co-pays and prescription drug co-pays, which the employees cannot submit for reimbursement. That comes out of their pocket. And then the annual cost of your HRA expense is approximately $165,000. So what we've considered here is, again, the structure of your HRA is only limited by your imagination. But what we'd like to do is you could do no deductible, you could do your current $250 deductible. What we presented in your initial renewal was for the City of East Ridge to pay 90% of deductible expenses, the employees pay 10%, so 90% split. On the administration piece, again, UHC does not charge for HRA administration, so if you decided to go that route, there would be no charge. Blue Cross Blue Shield does charge $3, but we've requested and successfully gotten that waived for you. So that would be an annual savings of about $4,500. A suggestion that I'll make, and this was something that we noticed right off the bat when we first started working with the City of East Ridge, was that if you choose to continue with an HRA, right now your plan involves co-pays. Those co-pays come out of the employees' pockets. They're not reimbursed for that. To us, that is a very inefficient way to do it from a cost standpoint. The reason being, you are paying an 18% load just to have those co-pays built into your plan. So with the way you have your HRA structured now, you're paying for what we would consider, quote, the big steps. So if I go in for surgery, if I go in for any number of the larger items that's not an office visit or an ER type visit, then the City of East Ridge is already paying those large costs. What you're asking your employees to do is to pay out of pocket for those co-pays, which is not a lot of money to them. That's not the issue. The issue is it's an extra 18% on your rate to the city. So you're basically paying for something, the benefit of which you're not receiving. So that would be the first recommendation we would make off of that. Remember, your HRA expenses are variable, but your premium is constant. So what we want to do is we want to try to get that premium down as low as we can, and then we'll have enough money on the back end for the HRA to discuss. One thing I will caution, I've quoted several Blue Cross plans. If we get that deductible and out-of-pocket up too high and bring the premium down as low as we possibly can, you can do that. You can take all the savings in the first year on the premium side. But if you do that, we'll want to be careful, because if you have a bad claims year, then your ratio from claims dollars to premium dollars gets out of whack, and that could give you a higher renewal next year. So I just do want to caution that as we go along. So, and again, I know we've got a lot of presenters tonight, so I'll try very quickly. The first tab I show is multiple options with Blue Cross Blue Shield. If you look across the top, what this illustrates is your current spending. So currently, your rate accounts for about $1.5 million, 1.1508. Your HRA is running at about $160,000. That gives you a total estimated annual premium of $1.668 or $1.7 million. If you simply did nothing and you renewed as is, that cost would go up to 1.883, so from 1.6 to 1.8. Instead, I have proposed various options that you see below that. The first page is a summary of all of those options. The subsequent 2 pages are the actual plans laid out in more detail. So that first page is an executive summary, the next 2 pages are the full plan. What I've done is I've illustrated the total premium below each plan, but again, on the executive summary, you can see that summary in a snapshot. My proposal and our proposal at renewal was to offer the Blue Cross Blue Shield what we're calling option D on this executive summary. It's a $4,000 deductible with a $5,000 out-of-pocket max. Your annual premium would be reduced to $1,043,952. We projected your HRA at a 40% utilization, which we see as pretty standard among groups of your size with your demographic makeup. That would be $412,000. So your total outlay for the year, if you took our recommendation, would be 1.45. Again, your renewal would have you at 1.8, so we're talking about roughly a $400,000 savings. That assumes that you pay 100% of the employee's deductible expenses. So what we've done there is we've enriched the benefit. The employees are going to have less money coming out of their pockets. The city's going to have drastically less money coming out of their pocket. And all we've done is we've just smartened up the plan design. So you're no longer offering those co-pays. You're paying an extra load for that for absolutely no reason in our opinion. We're bringing that down. We're passing some of the savings along to the employees in the form of them not having to meet that $250 deductible if you didn't want to. Again, that's up to you. So much lower cost to the employee. And then we would also recommend reducing the amount that you charge the employees for the insurance, because again, you've got ample savings there. There's plenty there to do that, but again, that's completely up to you. You're only limited by your imagination. The next tab shows the United Healthcare plans. I do want to warn you, and this is an issue that we've seen across several of our municipal clients. United Healthcare, before we even get started, has 200 exclusions on their current pharmacy plan. So any United Healthcare plan that you look at, that's going to be true. So moving from Blue Cross Blue Shield to United Healthcare, you may decide that you want to do that, but I'm here to tell you we have had widespread pharmacy issues. We get this report quite often. It's not just us, it's other groups as well. This is a United Healthcare formulary issue. So there's over 200 exclusions. The other main difference with their pharmacy formulary is that Blue Cross Blue Shield, you currently have a 3-tier allocation: generic, name brand, and non-preferred. United Healthcare also has 3-tier, but instead of organizing it by generic, name brand, or non-preferred, it has to do with cost. So believe it or not, there are some generic drugs on your Blue Cross plan that you're paying that generic copay for. If you switch to United Healthcare, they're going to be the most expensive drug on the formulary because they categorize their drugs in 2 completely different ways. So when you're comparing a Blue Cross plan to United Healthcare plan, it is not an apples to apples comparison, especially when it pertains to the pharmacy. So I do want to give you that warning. Does anybody have any questions about that?
What would that be higher?
I'd just like to add, is anyone here, are we interested in changing to United Healthcare? Or do we want to stick with Blue Cross Blue Shield? That might save a little bit of time. I know, and the reason I'm asking, I know United Healthcare has gone through some issues as far as contracts with area hospitals and so forth. To my knowledge, and you guys in the insurance business, I've never heard of Blue Cross Blue Shield really having the type of issues that United has. Have they?
Well, you currently got 2 networks.
You're seeing it, you're seeing it more often now with both carriers. And keep in mind, you've got a limited network with the network S, whereas United is not as limited.
No problem. And that is another propose that you just simply move to the network P. You're not charging enough now between the S and the P to make it quote a true buy-up, so you're not really recouping the cost on that piece of it. So again, the premium savings that we've illustrated, having that network P is not an issue from a cost standpoint, and so there's no sense in getting somebody caught in a gotcha as far as going to an out network. So that is another factor of this proposal.
I'd ask you a question before you answer. Why is the generic will be 100%? Folks nowadays is generic, so we can't afford the other.
That's right. So I was, if you're not inclined to go with United Healthcare, then you don't have to worry about it. The point I was making was that Blue Cross and United Healthcare categorize the drugs in two totally different ways. Blue Cross prices those drugs. Your formulary now, be it that 1035.50, let's say, 1035.50 is what you have now. A generic drug's a $10 copay, name brand's $35, and a non-preferred or a specialty drug is $50. That's the way you've known it, and that's the way it works. If you move to United Healthcare, they don't categorize it by generic, name brand, or non-preferred. They categorize it by a classification of drug and the cost that it costs the insurance company to provide that drug. So just because a drug is $10 for Blue Cross does not mean it's going to be listed as a generic for United Healthcare. But again, if you're not inclined to go with United Healthcare, I don't want to muddy the waters too much by going into those details.
I agree with Councilman Gravitt. I'm not interested in United Health from all of my readings.
We can just skip that whole thing. So on the dental insurance, we would say regardless of your medical decision, we would move the Blue Cross Blue Shield Dental to 2-tier rating. That's going to save you quite a bit of money. If you elect to renew with the Blue Cross Blue Shield Medical, then Blue Cross Blue Shield has agreed to increase your annual benefit on the dental up to $1,500. You currently have $1,000. This was something that we were able to negotiate as your incumbent broker before you opted for the public bid. We've since been told by Blue Cross Blue Shield that they would not honor that. In other words, that's an agreement they made with us as your incumbent broker, and that we can do that, assuming you want to move forward. But that once the public bid started, they freeze all negotiations at that point. So that was a benefit we were able to secure and could still offer for you, but may not be available. I can't speak to anyone else, but may or may not be available.
What you're saying, after bidding though, it not may back out.
No, not at all. Before the bid opened, we had negotiating ability with Blue Cross. Once the public bid starts, all the carriers just freeze up and issue the same rates. So some of these agreements were agreements that we were able to negotiate before that process started, and Blue Cross will still honor those negotiations. So that's a good thing. The annual savings created by moving to 2-tier rates would be $1,377. And then I've got the two dental quotes there. The current one that's got the $1,000 annual maximum, and the one we were able to negotiate with the $1,500. So again, we're prepared to offer that. On the vision insurance, if you choose to go with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which it sounds like you will choose that, then we would recommend having the vision with Blue Cross for ease of administration. And it's also suggested to make a slight modification. You can change from a 24-month frame allowance down to a 12-month. And we would recommend that you make that change. Your current design has a benefit of every 24 months. Included in this plan design is an every 12 months frame allowance. So that's what we would recommend on the vision insurance. You'd hate for somebody to get caught on that piece of it. My wife likes to buy glasses as often as possible, and so I can see how that could be an issue in my house. I'm not going to talk about what happens if you choose the UHC medical, because it sounds like you're not inclined to do that. On the life and disability, not only do we see an opportunity here to save a considerable amount of money for the city, but we can also greatly enhance the benefit for much less money. We've negotiated, we've got a public sector contract with Sun Life, the lowest rate on the market, 18-cent rate for your group life. It would streamline the administration, and this public sector contract would allow elected officials and part-time employees down to 15 hours to participate in the life insurance. Currently, that's not available, but they offer offer that on a public sector contract, and that's what we would be doing for you. Again, that's an 18-cent rate, and that's the lowest rate on the market that we can find. You're currently with Companion Life, just as a reminder. On the disability, I'm sorry, was that a
I
question?
said mine would.
On the disability, right now you have voluntary short-term disability. It's with 3 different carriers. What we would propose is, again, Sun Life has this public sector contract. So what we would propose is consolidating that short-term disability to Sun Life. What we do is we're going to keep this voluntary, but by consolidating the coverage, the numbers are going to come down considerably. The other thing that we would recommend is adding long-term disability coverage. A group of your size, a municipality of your size would typically have this coverage. And let me explain briefly the difference. By providing short-term disability, you are providing income on a 90-day or a short-term period. Most of us can beg, borrow, and steal for 90 days if we have to. But it's much harder on a long-term, 2 years, 3 years, 4-year basis to depend upon family and friends. So by not offering that long-term disability coverage, it really kind of leaves a gap in that coverage if someone is hurt or injured and can't return to work. Again, the savings is considerable enough where we'd be able to offer that and you would still be realizing the savings that we talked about. So this is a coverage that you could add at very, very little cost. We would propose that it be group paid. Sun Life has the lowest rate at 39 cents, but we also quoted it with Mutual of Omaha, Unum, Prudential, Lincoln, Assurant, United Healthcare, USA, Cigna, Aetna, and Standard. So we quoted it with basically every disability carrier on the market that was interested, and Sun Life came in at 39 cents rate, which was very, very good. Again, those are all public on the public sector contract, so that's a very, very favorable contract for you. Again, on the life contract, that would cover elected officials and part-times down to 15 years. The very last piece of this I'll touch on. Another benefit that we're adding to all of our clients is our HRIS management system. We do this at no cost to our clients. So I see online where you had an RFP for a reporting software and timekeeping software to be able to comply with the Affordable Care Act and the reporting requirements there. What I'm here to tell you is I don't know what your budget was for this RFP, but Benefits Inc. is already providing to you a technology that does this for you at no cost. So to the extent you're of course subject to the Affordable Care Act, we've got to meet affordability standards, we've got to be able to pull reports, we've got to be able to pay your reporting fees, do those sorts of things back to the government pursuant to the Affordable Care Act. Again, I don't know what the cost was here or what the budget was here, but Benefits Link, which is the software that you guys are already able to take advantage of, which we offer to all of our clients at no charge, will do that reporting for you. So it's a huge cost savings. Again, it's something that we're going to charge. I know I just ran through a lot of information. If anybody's got any questions, I'd be thrilled to answer.
Any further questions?
I don't have to worry. You said something about life, well, in other words, somebody gets hurt or down for life.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean you won't, just last so long that you won't cut their insurance off? Well, I understood that wasn't put.
No, sir.
You said short life, that's what that means.
So there are 2 types of disability. Right now, all the city has is short-term disability insurance. You do not offer long-term disability insurance. I'm proposing that you begin offering long-term disability insurance. The way your system is now, if someone elects the short-term disability, it will only cover them for the short term, let's say 90 days. At that point, that benefit cuts off, because that's the way the short-term disability policy is designed. What I'm recommending is that you add long-term disability. Because again, it's one thing to beg, borrow, and steal for 90 days, it's another to do it for 6 years. And so what we think is that we would like to see you all add long-term disability to your coverage offering, so that if you get someone, heaven forbid, that gets injured or long-term illness, that they will be able to have that 60% of their pre-disability income coming in the door, and we would achieve that through the long-term disability coverage, which is not a coverage that you have now.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Thank you, sir.
My pleasure, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity.
And obviously, we provided latitude. We're going to do that for everyone.
I will try to keep it to a minimum. I think we are. Is Insurity Group up next? Jay.
If we're going alphabetically, I mean,
No, that's fine, no, that's fine.
we can go HCS.
No, that's all right, no.
HCS.
You can go ahead. You want to go ahead, that's fine.
No, y'all go ahead. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I do have one question. I
Yes,
know
sir.
that you guys are on the time. Do you have a council meeting?
We
starting at 6:30?
do, we can delay the start of that meeting. We will take care of the business we need to take care of in this meeting and then move on to the other. Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it. My name is Tim Herndon. Okay. Tim Herndon, and my company is Financial Blueprint. Just a little bit about myself. I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee. We handle several counties and cities. I started specializing in that type of business. I'm a chartered financial consultant. I've been in business 27 years. I've worked for the insurance companies. I've worked as an independent insurance agent, and I have my own company, which I've had since 2008. Let me just say that we actually got into this a little bit late in the game. I think you guys made a decision late in the game to kind of open this up. So what we did was we focused on what you requested. You with me? We did not have, we quoted what you asked for. So we don't have a lot of options. If you all, if we were to be, blessed enough to get the account, we can add options. Any of the options that will be discussed tonight, we can certainly. We have contracts with all the major carriers. Every carrier that the gentleman mentioned, we have contracts with. So we can add any additional insurance line. We did not have time to do that. We just focused on what we asked for. Okay? All right. My company's called Financial Blueprint. One of the things that we've been doing a lot of is we have started adding a creativity to benefit the zone. And where we start with any group that we look at, we start with, can we match the current benefits for less than? Now, I'm not talking about less than your renewal, because you guys got a pretty good renewal. I'm talking about less than what you had previously. And that's kind of where we start. And we were able to do that. We are able to match your current benefits. And I'm talking about the plan that has a $250 deductible for individual, $500 deductible for a family, with the co-pays, the office co-pays and the drug co-pays, and with so matching the exact plan for less than what you're paying currently, not the renewal current. All right, that's kind of where we start, and that's what we were able to do. Now let's just get out of the way some of the ancillary plans, the dental and the vision, because obviously what drives both is the medical insurance, right? So the dental, my experience in working with municipality is you don't want to make a big change. Employees don't like a lot of change. They don't like carrier changes if they've got a doctor, if they've got an eye doctor, if they've got a dentist, if they don't like to change. So we pretty much are keeping most of the plans with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Tennessee, except for the life. Okay, so the vision is going to stay the same plan that you've got. And you all pay half of the cost, so you all pay about $7,100 based on the information I got for the quote. Right? But we're not changing that. The dental plan. The dental plan, you actually had a rate decrease. So, and your rate's good. There's a lot of dental plans out there. They're all almost identical. The advantage of having it with Blue Cross is employees are used to it. They're used to the network. They're used to the dentist that they go to. Plus the fact that you got a rate decrease. And I don't think that going to a different dental plan is going to be any significant savings, especially below the rate decrease. So that comes in at about $76,000 a year for your dental plan. You're going to save about $4,000 underneath what you were paying before. Now, as far as the negotiating, with a carrier, if Blue Cross and Blue Shield had agreed to give you all $1,500 allowance they'll do it with any of us. There's nothing really special. We all have contracts with Blue Cross. So if that has been agreed upon, then any of us can do that. Now, I can't show it to you because it's an open bid. And you understand why Blue Cross would do that. They can't show favoritism. But if that's been, if that's been established that they will do that, they'll do it for any of us. Okay? Any broker here that has a contract with Blue Cross. So, dental plan, we're proposing to keep it just like it is. All right, the life insurance. Again, we got into this really late. I did not have as much time as I normally have to search for carriers, but we found Dearborn Life, Dearborn National. They would write your life insurance for less than the current. Now, we got a 19-cent rate. I believe that they had an 18 cent. Knowing that it's 18 cents, I mean, I'm sure that they would match that after the fact. But our proposal rate is 19 cents. So we're a penny higher. But even at 19 cents, it's saving you $580. So it's just a drop in the bucket, compared to the big picture. But it is less than your current. I believe your current is 21 cents. So we're saving $580 there. If it was 18 cents, we might save, $680, whatever. It wouldn't be a significant amount. All right. But again, if we were to get the account, we could go back to Dearborn National and tell them that we had an 18-cent quote, and they would probably match it. It's just not. It's not in our proposal. Okay. Now, I do agree with the previous speaker in that I really believe that you all need to get long-term disability. Like I'm a financial consultant, I deal with people that have been disabled and can't. I mean, if you think about it, if you lose your ability to work, you've lost your chance to pull yourself out of any financial bind that you get into. And we normally do long-term disability on all our municipality groups. And we have a lot of claims. That would be a safety net that I would certainly provide employees, and it's not real expensive. Now, I did not go to market for that because that wasn't in the original proposal, and we just didn't have time. We found out like Wednesday it was open for bid, and it was due Friday, so we're doing good to put together what we got. But if we were to get the deal, we would go to the market. We could find a terrific long-term disability that would not cost the city a lot. It's not very expensive. It's well done. Right? Now, as far as the voluntary plans, Dearborn National, they have the supplemental short-term disability, the accident and critical illness. They've got all those plans. So all those plans that you have now, they would be able to provide every one of those enrollment services in the whole bit. So, and I do agree that when you got a lot of different, I didn't know you had 4 different carriers providing those, but you certainly need to consolidate it. Your people in the county department will be very happy if you've done that as well. So, all right. Now the medical. What we propose with the medical, as I said, is matching the current plan. And you guys have a Cadillac plan. I mean, it is, $250 deductible for an individual, $500 deductible for that. Listen, there's just not many plans out there that are that rich. I don't think you need to change anything. I mean, that is a very rich plan. Now, as far as P&S, if you're going to cover other family members, I think you still need to continue to offer the S network. You've got more people in the S than the PS is. So, I probably wouldn't take that away from them. All things being equal, the premium's about 8% less. So if you're going to cover your spouse or your other family members, it's going to be less out of your paycheck. So I would continue to offer the S. Now, here's what we did. Here's how we matched the current plan with less premium. All right, first thing we did was we took the Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We were able to get multiple quotes from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And what we did is we raised the Blue Cross deductible. See, now it's $2,000. And then you all you all HRA fund down to $250. We raised the Blue Cross deductible all the way up to $6,000 with a $6,600 out pocket. Right? By doing that, as you might guess, it lowers your Blue Cross premium. Our Blue Cross premium, by doing that, is just right at $800,000. So that's just the Blue Cross fees. So basically, any claim over $6,000 is paid by Blue Cross. All right? Underneath that, what we're going to do is we're going to build a plan using Health Cost Solutions. This is my partner I'm working with, Bo Mitchell. He's going to talk a little bit more about how we do that. We're going to build a plan using, think of it as a bucket that you all fund. And then you pay claims out of the bucket. Now, here's the big advantage. If you all save money, if your claims are lower than what you put in the bucket, you get to keep it. Whereas now, if you send money to Blue Cross and your claims are better than what Blue Cross anticipated, baked into your rates, you don't get to keep it, right? So there's a potential cost saving. Now, what we propose is worst case scenario, because we got to stick with, we got to tell you the worst case. But there's definitely an upside with our proposal if your claims, come in underneath, if you don't spend all the money you put in the book, right? Then the other thing we do, and this is a big deal, with a